as boys growing up or as men, kind of just taught to not to kind of hold it in. And, it's tough. Like I said, like I didn't want to tell anybody what I was going through. So you kind of just, kind of drink your sorrows away, hoping no one notices. But eventually those things become physical. Like you start seeing it.
Yeah.
You can't hide it.
Yeah.
But I'll definitely say, just like as boys growing up, and I can't speak for you. I speak of my with me growing up, with some of our teammates, who we kind of talk to. You guys grow up, kind of just taught like as boys, you can't cry. Like don't cry, don't show emotion, don't show how you feeling. That shows weakness. And then as you come to the door, you hold on to those things that people told you. That your pee wee coaches, family, whoever told you that.
Turn on the lamp, I don't go postal till God give it stamp. We going global, I'm in with the champs. I sit at the Oval, they told me I can't, Turn on the lamp, I don't go postal till God give it stamp. We going global, I'm in with the champs. I sit at the Oval, they told me I can't, I'm feeling like Oprah, cause you get a chance and you get a chance. Tell us a story, how did you advance? Testimony is a glorious dance. Never gonna question.
Welcome back to Turn on the Lamp podcast. I'm here with an amazing guest by the name of Sam Crawford. You're not familiar with him. He's a Rockwall legend, Tulsa legend, a Rice legend as well. I appreciate you for joining the show, bro.
Thanks for having me, bro.
Man, just coming out here, bro. I haven't seen you in a while. Just kind of update us. How's life going for you, bro?
Man, life's going good, man. Super blessed. Healthy, job's good, family's good. I got great friends everywhere, man. So I mean, that's what all I can ask for.
Yeah. I was telling you, bro, like you look like you could still play ball a little bit. And you was talking about your softball league. How's your softball league going for you, bro?
Nah, man, some of my coworkers, they make a team for softball. It's gonna be fun, be good team bonding, stuff like that. Then our first game was last Thursday. Went out, got killed, bro. It was like 18-2. Yeah, even my warm-ups, man, my arm was, I'm a little bit sore. Yeah. I woke up Friday morning, my legs was hurting. I was like, yeah, man, I'm athlete days behind me, man.
For sure, bro. You've been an athlete all your life, really, man. And just like knowing you from playing ball with you, but even before that, let's go back to your childhood. How were you kind of introduced into the game of football?
I mean, I remember about my earliest years. I think the first time I really wanted to play, I think I was like 3 or 4 years old, like that, bro. We was playing at the Salvation Army. That thing had a football league or something like that. And then I remember I wanted to play because my brother was playing. He about 6 years older than I am. He was playing. I got my helmet that I was going to play. At the time I was too young. And I remember my mom was telling me I was crying so hard that I couldn't play. Yeah. Now, but since then, my dad always wanted me to play sports, always put me in sports. And, I just loved it. I love the environment. I love being competitive, because where I grew up, Rockwall area, you get to play kids who live in the Mesquite area, play against kids who live in the Wiley area. So it's like a big melting pot, different personalities. That gets you out there to social-wise, physical-wise. And I think the lessons football teaches you goes beyond the sport itself.
Yeah.
How to be a good teammate, how to work hard. Even when you do lose, you got to get back and try again. So, I mean, just as a kid, I love that competition. I love being out there, and I love the game. It's like an escape.
Talk about, like, what are some specific lessons that you still take to this day that you learned from being on the field?
Man, I even think, like, our freshman year pulling up, we 18 years old, a whole new environment. You in a new city by yourself, your family's not there. You with some dudes you never met before. You got to grow up in a hurry. No one's going to wake you up to get you to workouts. No one's going to make you, we got our meal plan, stuff like that, but eating right, that's on you. Showing up on time, that is on you. Because if you don't, you're not going to play. You're not going to play. They're going to find somebody who's going to do the right things to come take your job, play over you. So those kinds of things that you take, to your job, that you take to life, just knowing I got to work hard. I got to work hard just to go get what I want to get. If that's a new promotion in in your new role, like I got to work hard to go get that. And it's never, we know that it's never linear. You got ups and downs.
Yep.
You got ups and downs. You remember, our first workouts going there, man. Them days was hard. Them days was hard. We the way we're gonna do abs for an hour, man. You like, is this for me? Yep. Is this for me? But like that's what it takes to get there. Is get on the field. Just the work I put in just to, they tell us all the time, you put in all this work to play 12 games in a season. You do all this work in fall camp to just get to that first game topic to have the opportunity to play. But I think, in life, that's what it is. You work hard to have the opportunity. And the hard work is prepares you, like, when you're ready to get the opportunity. When it does come, you're ready to grab it. So And that's what I think it does for you.
Seeing like those specific like coaches and stuff kind of show you and mentor you in a way. Who was your biggest mentor and influence inside your household as you were growing up?
Inside my household, I mean, like definitely my parents, man. My parents and my siblings, you know, my parents are polar opposites. But my mom, my dad, see how much they worked hard growing up. And as a kid, you don't understand that, especially me. You know, I grew up in Rockwall, upper middle class, like came to like clothes, money, food. I didn't have to worry about that. But you know, my parents, they didn't have that growing up. That's something I didn't understand until I got older. So like being my age now and understanding what they went through, how hard they worked to give us the life that we had, I appreciate that so much. That's things as a kid you just don't understand. You know, like those days, wake up in the morning, we have food on the table. You don't know how much work my dad put in to put that food on the table. You just wake up thinking it's going to be there. But you know, just see my dad work, see my mom work. Just growing up, you're like, okay, like that's what it takes. So in the household, it was definitely them. I'll say outside the household, it came my coaches. You know, my old head coach at high school, Coach Webb. He was a huge influence on my life. You know, I first met him. I was in 8th grade at a track meet. But just seeing, like, even outside of a football player, how much he saw me as a person off the football field, that is like kind of instills like confidence in you. Yeah. Because like he shows you're more than a football player.
You had your success at Rockwall High School, then you transitioned to going to Tulsa. Kind of talk about what that was like going into college, you know, being in a new environment and stuff around new people. How did you adjust?
Yeah, man. You know, it's always tough for us. Like, people who come before you always talk about it. But, like, because at that point, you a big fish in a small pond coming to high school, bro. Like, you the man in the district, or, you know, you went to Cedar Hill, so it's dogs everywhere around there. So, I mean, like, you the big dog in the district, man. Everybody, you know, they respect you coming to the field. But then you get to college, man, you 18, you that small fish again, man. You got to earn your way. You got to prove yourself. You got to work hard. You got to show the older dudes, because you get there, they gonna try to test you, man. You know, fall camp, that they gonna push you. They gonna talk trash to you, man. They gonna do all that stuff. And again, outside of that part, you know, you get in there, and, you know, we talked about it. You 18, you gotta. No one's gonna wake you up, go to school, go to class. No one's gonna make you want to eat right. No one's gonna want to, you know, that's something you got to want for yourself. Because every day, remember Coach Lowry used to tell us, you know, every day when we step foot here, I'm looking for your replacement. I'm looking for somebody to come take your spot. And that's what it is. That's what it's real, because, you know, their job is relying on us. They want the best people on the field. So at that point, like high school, I told my people all the time, I know it's different now, but at that time we was playing. High school's the last time you played for fun, or it's fun. You know, you try to get offers, stuff like that. But you get to college, especially NFL, it's not a business. Like, those guys are relying on you so they can feed their families. So at that point, you learn that super early on. Like, those workouts, man, it's no joke. Those workouts, I mean, our first workout on that field, warm up 30 minutes. I'm like, what is this, man? Middle of July, it's 100 degrees outside on the turf. Our cleats melting. We on the turf, forearms burning. It's crazy, man. But you gotta grow up quickly, because if you don't, those guys are gonna give you so many chances. I mean, we've seen those guys come in for that first season, first semester, and then they gone. So yeah, man. I mean, like, just that part of it, man. Just make that adjustment to, like, you know, your coursework is different. It's not high school classes no more. You gotta get your work done. They're not gonna handhold you. You don't turn it in on time, you get a 0. If you don't perform, you're not gonna play. You're gonna be on scout team for 4 years. So at that point, it's on you how bad you really want it. It's not high school no more. Like, you can't just out talent people like that no more.
Exactly.
At that point, it's really about hard work. It's really about putting in the extra work. It's really about the small things.
Yeah, you were a member of the Student Athlete Advisory Committee, and along with like many other, I know you were in FCA, you know, just like things outside of football. Kind of talk about why that was so important to you, making sure you focus on your character as a person outside of just being an athlete.
Yeah, man, and it's easily, we talked about it, it's so easy when we at that time, we just talked all the time you put into that sport. But it's very important that you separate your identity from that sport. So meet other people outside your sport, people outside your program, meet people around campus, meet students. If you're a Christian, join a Christian a Christian group. You know, pray together, praise together, do all that stuff together. If you want to get a community, join a community service group. If you want to, you know, be the students and, you know, help out student athletes, you know, better coursework, better study hall habits, like, go do that. I think it's very important to have that separation from an athlete to the person. And again, when you're in college, you want to maximize that time and expand your horizons. Like, who do you want to be when this is all over? Who do you want to be once you leave this campus? And if all you can say was like, oh, well, I'll just play football, I mean, I feel like you're doing yourself a disservice at that point. So definitely, I mean, I tell people all the time, especially guys who are younger, I'm like, definitely expand your horizons, man, because, we talked about it. The ball goes flat for everybody at some point in time, and that transition is not easy. So you want to make sure you have that identity outside of football, because if that's all it is, once it's over, it's tough, man, trying to climb your way out of that.
You made your first start at Tulsa at Michigan State, right?
Yeah.
I remember them throwing you a ball and you went up like head top the corner. Kind of talk about what that experience was like and what was going through your head.
Man, it was crazy, man, because like I remember it was almost halftime, and we was at a rough game to that point. It was still a close game. It was at a rough game. And then so we going down the field. And now at that point, I think that's my first start. I think I had one catch at that point. I was hyped. I was like, my first catch out here, man. It was like 3-0 or something like that. I was like, my first catch. Anyway, almost halftime. We doing tempo. So I'm looking to the sideline, and they called this play. It's supposed to go to me. I'm like, oh, all right. So I remember, hit the route, and they throw it, and then. I mean, I don't remember what happened, but like I remember you come down, the ball's in your hands, you look up, and I'm like, yeah, you're like, ah. So then I remember who it was, Josh Butler. He's with the Cowboys right now. He got an awesome story. I followed his journey. He's from West Mesquite, I think, man. I followed his journey. He was TikTok, stuff like that. He's a great person. But I remember that play, man, and man, I was hyped. I was hyped. I remember Toe came up. He was like, yeah. I was like, but I know I had the ball. I didn't know like they were going to call. The refs still trying to get us off and stuff like that. But anyway, so I run to the sideline. I'm looking at the fan. I'm looking at the screen and everything. And then, so I remember at halftime, I checked my phone. I'm not putting my phone in now. I checked my phone, man. I'm like, yeah, bro, you see that? Like, yeah. And all my friends on Snapchat texting me. My parents like, yo, you see this? I'm like, yeah. But no, man, it was, man, that was awesome, bro. That was an awesome moment. And that's the moments that you work for. Yeah. That you get there, when you're 18, we show up first day doing the workouts, man. Waking up at 5 a.m., going there at 6, eating breakfast, going to class, coming back at 4 or 5 o'clock, do some more work. All the time in fall camp, waking up at 7, 8 o'clock, be there till 5. Yeah. Doing it all over again, bro. But like you said, you getting that first sack, you getting your first start, getting that first touchdown, bro. It feels so worth it. Yeah. Once you get there, man, like once you feel it, like once you get that feeling, man, it's all the work you put in, all those hours of work, years of work, to have that 10 seconds, that feeling, man, it's so worth it. Yeah. But nah, man, that was an awesome moment, man. Like I just remember like your friends being just genuinely happy for you. Like people who love you just like reaching out to you because like they know the work. Yeah. Your teammates know the work you put in. It takes to get there. And it just makes it feel so special when that moment does come. So yeah, I remember that, man. That was awesome.
That is real, bro. You had continued success throughout your playing career. Then you had an opportunity to hit the transfer portal when it was kind of becoming a thing. Mm-hmm. Kind of talk about like what went into your decision to attend Rice University and hop in the portal as well.
Yeah, and at that point, man, because we came in 2017 and we was at Tulsa for 5 years and we did everything that, we planned to do. We graduated, we worked hard, went to workouts, had success on the field. We did everything that we wanted to do, that we planned to do. At that point, it was no bad blood between us and the staff, nothing like that. It's sometimes just time to move on. Yeah. I remember having a conversation with Monty. We talked about it, and yeah, it was just, no bad blood. It's just time to move on. The whole portal, man, is crazy because like you kind of forget we so removed from recruiting from high school. You just remember, man, it's like it's tough. It's tough, man. That recruiting process is tough. But my buddies from Rockwall, he was transferring from his school. And then like hit me up, he was like, hey man, I'm thinking going to Rice, we can play together and stuff like that. I'm like, all right, man. So he got me connected with the Rice staff, Coach Bloomgren and all those guys. Man, he checked out my film, and I remember I was at Nola Zine. He called me. He's like, what you doing? I was like, man, having lunch. What's up? So I stepped outside. He was like, watch your film, man. You got an offer from us. What you thinking? I'm like, yeah, man, that's awesome. He's like, let's talk tomorrow. Let's catch up. So I'll go home. We'll go YouTube, watch some Rice games and stuff like that, do my research. At that point, a few other offers. But at the same time, man, Rice, the education speaks for itself. Yeah. So I did the application process, got in the MBA program, and then I was like, man, I'm going to Rice.
Yeah.
Great opportunity. I'm being Houston, being a city. I got family down there. My mom's side's from Houston. Great school, great program. I love the staff. I love the teammates that did have a chance to meet. But they had an indoor. We didn't have one in Tulsa. They had an indoor. Yep. We had some meeting rooms. I was like, but no, man, it was a great fit, man. And I mean, people know like my athletic career, like I got down there, didn't turn out to what I wanted to be. But you know, that's something I wouldn't have changed. You know, I love my decision I made. I wouldn't change it. But yeah, man, that's kind of how that process went.
Talk about that moment, bro. You said that you had a moment where, you know, just kind of like a regular routine route and catch or whatever, and you fell and you didn't think too much of it, but you started to feel those increased symptoms. Talk about kind of like what led up to that injury to make you put down playing football.
Yeah, man. So, I mean, it was like second, third day of fall camp. And, you know, just doing one-on-ones. You know how it goes. You know, like first I would practice doing one-on-ones, you and the DBs. And I was went up for a ball, kind of came down. And you know my time at Tulsa, I've had my fair share of concussions. You know, run across the field, getting knocked out, stuff like that. It's like, you know how it feels.
Yeah.
So I remember I got up. And then, you know, I didn't feel okay. Then I remember one of my boys, he was like, you good? And I'm like, yeah, man, I'm all right. He said, let's go then. I'm like, so we get through practice, and then we move from the outside field to the bubble. And then I just remember, man, I was struggling. Like, you know, mind's foggy. You know, you feeling queasy. Like I'm busting plays. I'm like, Jesus, man. Like, you know, at that point, it's a lot of emotions going through your head. It's like, you know, they brought me in to come play. And like, if I get hurt, like, am I contributing? Like, how they gonna view me as a person? Like, am I just stealing scholarship from somebody who else could have had it? I came here promised I was gonna contribute to the team. But other than that, you're like, man. But at the same time, it's like, look, I've had concussions before. I don't know how many I had. Like, you kind of scared too. You kind of scared because you see these stories, these old guys, like what they've been through with this kind of stuff. So like, you have that more dilemma. Like, you try to hide it. You tell people like, what are you gonna do? So. And end up telling the trainer, I'm like, hey, man, you know, I'm not feeling too good right now. So, I mean, we just go inside. I tell him what's going on. And then, you know, man, we're just talking about it. And I'm like, yeah, man, you know, I had a few at Tulsa. I kind of know what's going on here. He's like, all right, man, you know, go home. I'll come back in the morning and we'll figure it out. Come back in the morning, you know, you need that protocol. You know how it goes, man. You do the impact test, do the balance test, all that stuff. And then at the same time, I'm seeing a neurologist in the medical center down there in Houston, right by the campus. You know, I'm talking to him. I'm meeting with him probably once or twice a week. We're going through all these tests. And then, man, I'm not doing well. And I know it. I'm not doing good, man. My anxiety was on 100 at all times, every day. I was on edge every day. And just like, you know, it's just like a mixture of like anxiety, heartbreak. Like you feel all these emotions kind of like rushing through you at one time. And then you kind of go through, coaches asking you, man, how you feeling? You know, stuff like that. You try to get back, and you're like, all right, man, I can do this. And he's like, I was like, no, you can't do that. So like you feeling like two different sides. Like people's like, oh, how you feeling? The doctor's like, no, you can't do this. So it's a lot going on. Anyway, so one day he calls me in. We're about a week out from week one, playing USC out there in California, and then he calls me in, and he's like, hey Sam, you know. Good. Like I'm going over your tests, going over your results, your progression. You're not where you should be right now. You know, be honest with me. Unreported concussions while you're at Tulsa. How many have you had? It took a lot to be very honest with him. And he's just like, you know, if you're my own son, I would not put you back on the field. I would feel comfortable putting you back on the field. And he was like, if it's to my knowledge, if I tell you cannot play, you keep your scholarship, you finish school. So I'm telling you right now, you cannot play. At that point in time, man, it's just like, you know, you talk about it, ball goes flat for everybody. But when it's your time, when it happens to you, man, it's different. It hits you different. Yeah. It hits you different. And like you said, we talked about, you do all those things to try to separate your identity from football. But when it's you, man, you just have that kind of like flashback. Like it's kind of weird. It's like we talked about, we first started playing, we're kids. And the things like where this game takes you. And I don't know if you talked about it, but No, your teammates, like people say just a game, like which it is, you get to the base level, everything, just a game. But what you add on to it, man, is just like, we got teammates first time on a plane because of college football. First time guys seen a beach. We go play Myrtle Beach. You got guys playing at South Florida. First time guys ever seen a beach in their life.
Yeah.
First time people have opportunity to graduate from college, get their MBA, or get their masters or get their bachelors, man, and a whole family for free, get it paid for. People who in the NFL, our teammates in the NFL right now, man, like very successful people. Like it's what this game brings you. Like, have a chance to have a family, have a great job, to do all this stuff. And I'm saying you don't need college football to do that,
right?
But it's definitely a platform that can get you there.
Yeah.
So like when that part of your lifetime is just taken away, not on your own terms, it's a hard pill to swallow. Like I said, man, I'm grateful I made that decision. I'm grateful for that doctor, man, because he had my best interest at heart. It can be very easy for him just to say, yeah, you finished out this last season, you'll be all right.
Yeah. But
no, he made that hard choice for me because he cared about me, as a person or his oath as a doctor, but he's looking out for my best interest. So, as hard as it was at the time to accept that, I appreciate it. And we talked about it, just that transition, how hard it was for me just to get past that. Got some dark days in there, man. Some very hard days. But you're better for it, you're stronger for it, and I appreciate it.
Yeah. All right, talk about those dark days, bro. I know you kind of told me a little bit of your story, how like you fell in like a deeper depression, right? Where you would describe like, man, it was hard to even go to sleep at times, like what you were kind of like doing to cope. And there's a lot of like stigmas around like men not feeling like they can navigate their emotions the correct way. Kind of talk about what that process looked like for you.
Yeah, man. And then, I mean, like I said, I don't know personally again, but at that time, because my anxiety was just so high and how, like, I was feeling guilty and, it was a very hard time. Then it's like I was having a hard time going to sleep. So you turn things like, I was like, my drinking ramped up just so I can go to sleep at night.
Wow.
Just so like, because you up, you just like, man, I can't go to sleep. So like, what's it's easy to do? You just have a few drinks, like, all right, man, like this will put me to sleep. That's, that's not a healthy, it's not a healthy thing to cope with. And at that time, I gained weight. It's hard for me to go work out. I didn't want to go work out. I didn't want to do anything. I was going to class, coming back home, eating Chick-fil-A every day, just drinking and stuff like that. And you look yourself in the mirror, you look like a foreign person. You know who you are. And it was very tough for me. And it was like, I got to face this. Like, what am I doing? Like, this is not what I'm here for. But the staff hooked me up with a therapist. I saw him for a very long time. We talked. He had a very similar upbringing. Played basketball. He broke his leg. Had to stop playing. So we connected on that. And then, man, we just started talking, man. He helped me with alternative coping mechanisms and how to really express what I was feeling, what I was dealing with. And, it's got me back, back in the gym, working out, running. Man, he was amazing. And, it's tough. And to answer the other question, just like, as boys growing up or as men, kind of just taught to kind of hold it in. And, it's tough. Like I said, like I didn't want to tell anybody what I was going through. So you kind of just, kind of drink your sorrows away, hoping no one notices. But eventually those things become physical. Like you start seeing it.
Yeah.
You can't hide it.
Yeah.
But I'll definitely say, just like, as boys growing up, and I can't speak for you. I speak of my with me growing up and some of our teammates, who we kind of talk to. You guys grow up, kind of just taught like, as boys, you can't cry. Like, don't cry. Don't show emotion. Don't show how you feeling. That shows weakness. And then as you come to the door, you hold on to those things that people told you. That your Pee Wee coaches, family, whoever told you that. Then you come an adult, it's hard to unlearn those things. But it's what you got to do. Like, you got to be able to say how you're feeling. Because if I go to therapy and I'm not being honest, tell him how I'm feeling, he can't help me. So it's very important. People who I love, telling them what I'm going through, going to the sessions, telling them what I'm going through. Like, hey, man, it's how I'm feeling. And I like, I'm drinking not because, I'm enjoying it. I'm just, I'm sad, man. It's like, I'm going through a hard time. And, like I said, he gave me some alternative like mechanisms I can do. And we work through it together. So I think, just, even for, you coaching high schoolers, got middle school guys, young guys, I think it's important to tell them, like, just saying how you feeling, show those emotions. That's not weakness. Like I think if you need help, asking for help. That's strength. Being vulnerable is a strong thing to do because I think that's how you grow as a person.
Yeah, that's real, bro. I appreciate you for sharing that. You eventually turned the next page, bro, and you graduated with your master's, and you had that opportunity. Talk about how it was kind of difficult turning that next page. Like you said, you try not to attach your identity to the sport, but it's what you've been doing for so long. You know what I mean? So what did that next chapter look like for you, kind of finding your new identity?
Yeah, man. I mean, it's definitely a tough thing to do, and but I know for me, so like at that point, I was done playing at Rice. I was just helping out with the team, doing equipment, helping out the equipment staff and stuff like that. And then at that point, I mean, hits you with reality. You gotta find a job. What you gonna do the rest of your life?
Yeah.
Because at some point, your scholarship's over. You're gonna graduate. What are you gonna do when you leave here? So at that point, man, I was doing what I want to do. I did an internship, like with the athletic program and stuff like that, trying to figure out what I wanted to do. And eventually, I did an internship, the job I'm at now, over the summertime, and man, I really enjoyed it. But definitely tough pill to swallow. I remember, first day of my internship, you sit down at the desk. This is your life. I mean, I don't know. I sat down. At the time, my boss name was John. He sat me down. He was like, "All right, man. Go through this Excel sheet, do some data extraction, do this over here, spreadsheet, save it, send it to me, all that stuff." And I'm like, yeah, this is what I'm doing. It's quiet because, like, man, it's just different, man. It's just like, you know what, like. There's no there's no celebration. Ain't no hot fives. Ain't no hidden helmets after I send an email. Ain't like you get a tackle, nothing like that. Everybody screaming. Ain't that no more, man. You sit down, like you might get a thumbs up on Teams or something like that, like a good job. But I mean, it's different, man. I mean, that transition is definitely different. Like I said, man, but I'm grateful for it. I love my job. I love my coworkers. I love what I do. That transition is tough, and I think it's definitely important to you in your professional career. Find things you like to do. Like I said, me and my coworkers start a softball team. We're doing it outside of work. I do a lot of community service just through my company. I do that in my free time. Hang out with my family, hang out with my friends. We do stuff on the weekends. Just like finding other hobbies to do. It's very important. But again, man, like you say, I mean, like we use the sport as a platform, opportunity to help us get where we want to go. And I think that's an important thing to do. Like, as everybody wants to play pro ball, that's not end all be all. Even pro guys, you know how it goes. It's a majority, 1-2 years average. You gotta find something else to do. You gotta find something else to do. So I mean, it's just very important to find out what else you like, what else you love. And then that is coaching. Help out the younger guys. You got a lot of experience, man. You play at the highest level. You've seen the best of the best play. So pass that knowledge out, passing down that knowledge to younger guys, man. That's invaluable lessons you can give them.
You mentioned community service. You've always been a guy who's been willing to serve others. What fulfillment do you get from like seeing the opportunity to serve somebody that may not be as fortunate as you are? Why is that so important?
And I mean, I just think it's like, again, we talked about it growing up, where I grew up at. I grew up in Rockwall, very upper middle class, at least my household. Upper middle class. I never had to worry about food, clothes, nothing like that. And like you get to college, you start seeing people from different type of lifestyle, or even being in Tulsa, we had a chance to give back community and stuff like that. It really opens your eyes, like people who live in your own home, your own city, where you grew up at, 10 miles down the road, who don't have access to consistent food, to consistent clothing, and stuff like that. I mean, a lot of people are children, they're kids, and it's like, who am I? Like, I'm like financially, I'm good. I'm healthy. I got time. So it's like, who am I to not go give back an hour, 2 hours of my day? If that is just folding clothes or packing cans, packing food, or packing shoes for people we can send off. Because like even if it's a small gesture for us, for me, even though that's 3 hours out of my day, that's life changing for somebody. It could be a kid who didn't have shoes. Now, like for summertime, now they got shoes. It could be, for the kids, parents have to work over the summertime, and at home they don't got food because they're not going to school. So just like being able to pack them food, it's like for the week, so that they got food at home just to eat. I mean, stuff like that. Like for us, man, that's 2 hours of our day. For them, that's a week, 2 weeks of food, of new clothes for them. So, and I think just as people, if we have the opportunity to help, if we have the resources to help, we should help others.
Yeah.
And I think it's a very important thing to do, just to serve others whenever you can, because it can go a long way just to pay it forward.
I'm curious. I've always been curious. You a top dog at receiver. Who was the best DB you went against? Because you came from a program at Tulsa, bro. You had Ali and a Caleb both lined up to where even if you switch sides, somebody in your face. You had a Caleb who's still playing in the league now. He's more of your brains of the group. You know what I mean? He'll run your route before you run it. Then you have Ali who's going to get up in your face and talk stuff. But then even before that, you went against like Reggie, who went to the league. So who was the best DB you went against?
Man, like I said, you get me in trouble, bro. If Ali watching, he gonna DM me after this. Like, what you mean, bro? I'm like, nah. But man, it's like, like we was talking about playing at the high level ball, man. You see so many talented guys, man. Like you say, like you play in Cincinnati, those guys, Kobe Bryant and Sauce Gardner still in the NFL doing their thing.
Yeah.
I think they safety. Last name was Forrest. He played for the Colts, I believe, or the Commanders, one of them. But regardless, still in the league. He played guys from UCF. Those guys in the NFL. Yeah. Oklahoma State. All those guys in Ohio State to the world, stuff like that. Yeah. Like you play so many people, man. But I would definitely say, like, when it come to Ali and AG, man, and Reggie. I mean, like, he my boy Tyon. He was a hell of a player too, man. And like, hey, if anybody watches this, if I left you out, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, man. They done.
Turn on the lamp. I don't go postal till God give it stamp. We going global. I'm in with the champs. I sit at the Oval. They told me I can't. Turn on the lamp. I don't go postal till God give it stamp. We going global. I'm in with the